the curled up phase, when the baby's all curled up, when they're really, really newborn and they're really, really squidgy, and you just want to bite them. That kind of, I would really enjoy that because it doesn't last long. It really doesn't.
In the beginning, they're just so tiny and they don't interact at all. So the first month for me was amazing because it meant that he knew who I was, and he's thankfully a very smiley baby, so it's great. But it was a really, really special moment. Absolutely melted my heart.
I suppose they're developing their personalities more than, like, no matter what way you look at it. So kind of whatever he sees mummy or daddy doing, then if he goes and copies you, you get a bit proud, like when you're leaning up against the kitchen table, texting on your phone, he comes up beside you and he starts leaning on the kitchen table as well, holding his plastic mobile phone. You're like, that's my boy. Like, I want to be daddy.
Those first few weeks, when they just look into your eyes and you have that moment, it's something that's really special. And you kind of miss them, like they go on in different ways, but when they're really tiny and you just have that little connection, I think everything's worth it. And it's a really special time and it's a really exciting time, and I think people sometimes spend so much time sharing their horror stories and the hard work and the sleepless nights that you forget about so much, fun and love and all the good stuff that comes with it too. So that would be the bit I'd say, is just enjoy it and enjoy that, you have this little person who loves you more than anything in the world.
When your baby falls asleep on your chest and they're so small and they just fit in just there, and this is only going to be for a couple of weeks because they'll grow and you really want them to grow and get bigger, but this is just so lovely. And even now when we look back at the photos we took of her then, so tiny, curled up asleep in your chest, and it's lovely.
The first few hours he was glued to her and she just looked so tiny in his hands, and I just think he was in awe of her. Like it was just one of those days, and I guess we were just in the room together, just the three of us, and it was just very special.
I always remember one night getting up, and I think it was the second time I'd been up, and it was maybe 2:30 or 3, and I was particularly tired, and I could hear him starting his from the cot, and I was thinking, oh, Davy, and I went over to the cot, and of course there he was, beaming up at me, this big huge smile, and the sleep deprivation is tough, but there are moments like that that kind of melt your heart, and you do think, I don't mind doing this for you, you're lovely,
And it's usually when they're feeding that you kind of get to look into each other's eyes and have that special moment. And I know it is a real cliche, but they're so tiny for a really short space of time, and before you know it, they're on to the next phase and the next stage, and you only have a little tiny baby for a few short weeks, so just enjoy the moment and all the love.
If you see your kid at an early age giving you a smile or bouncing in their rocker that they're happy, you kind of think you're getting somewhere, you're doing some sort of a good job, because they've stopped crying for maybe 2 hours at a time. And once they stop, you're like, oh, maybe it's wind. No, it's not wind, it's a smile, take it.